impactful story for legacy Halo fans, and I really needed to fulfill that promise after Halo.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Taquin, and I'm hyped out of my mind right now because IGN just released 11 plus minutes of new Halo Infinite gameplay, and I'm going to be reacting to it live right now. I was up really late working on a sponsored segment for an upcoming video, and so yeah, I woke up late again, so I am yet again late to the reaction party. Let's go! Anyway, let's get started here. So the video we are going to be watching is Halo Infinite Campaign, the first hands-on video preview from IGN. I've not seen any of this beforehand, and I am so goddamn excited. This month is going to be insane for Infinite coverage, you guys, so if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, because I'm going to be putting out tons of videos on all the new news that's coming out, and any new Infinite content that's kind of on the horizon ahead of launch, and of course, after launch as well. So, subscribe if you're new. Got a lot of love for you. Thank you so much, and let's watch this video. I'm curious exactly how much new gameplay we're going to get in this video. Okay, we already got a little bit of a cutscene right there that we haven't seen. Cool, cool.
The biggest surprise I had coming
I might pause this a couple times throughout to discuss certain things I see, so just keep that in mind.
out of my few hours of playing Halo Infinite's campaign wasn't the delightful exploration nor the incredibly fun gunplay. Instead, it came down to the characters. Halo Infinite sees the legendary Master Chief once again tasked with saving the universe from yet another threat. And after 5 major campaigns, the Chief seems tired. He's a man of few words, but his movements and responses are heavier than I've seen before. This is Chief without Cortana. His subtle yet distinct change is far from a bad thing, though. If anything, Master Chief's forlorn demeanor that he sets aside to get the job done is a great indication to me that Halo Infinite's story is intended to be a more impactful adventure.
Cool. I'm ready.
It's been 6 months. Where have you been?
Love the weapon so much.
Where is Cortana?
Chief's stern determination is also wonderfully contrasted to his new AI companion's bubbly enthusiasm and his pilot rescuer's anxiety and weariness. Given developer 343 Industries'
Saw a meme this morning. It's like, Chief, this is LSD, take this. And then they fucking turn into an N64 game. Sorry, sidetracked.
Industries' failure to give Locke the faintest hint of a personality or motive in Halo 5, and the game's generally lackluster story, this was a relief.
No. Not then! Not again! We need to run! I need a weapon. Weapon?
He said the thing!
It's enough.
It's enough.
Halo
I love
Infinite's
that.
contrasting characters aren't the only things to look forward to, though. Rewarding exploration infused with Halo's DNA
Okay, some
and
more
genuinely
banished
challenging
base gameplay,
combat
some
could
stock
be
rifle
relieved
stuff.
in today's open world game extravaganza, where many worlds are packed to the brim with
Holy
chores
shit.
and only a few offer mini.
I get mad Skyrim vibes from this right now. I know it's not going to play like Skyrim whatsoever, but just this scene right here is giving me mad Skyrim vibes. You see that mountain over there? You can go to it.
Worlds are packed to the brim with chores, and only a few offer meaningful adventures beyond their main path. If things continue the way I played in my 4-hour hands-on time, I think Halo Infinite could fall into the latter. That's not to say there aren't some essential elements of Halo Infinite I'm curious to see if 343 can pull off, like Chief's storyline with Cortana. For now, what I played in my preview session has left me even more.
Look at Cortana, dude. Cortana looks great. And also, Halsey looks freaking terrifying right now. I'm sure that's intentional. She looks very distressing.
Storyline with Cortana. For now, what I played in my preview session has left me even more eager for Halo Infinite's December 8th launch.
This Harmonious guy kind of looks like a pushover.
Can you hear me? This is UNS.
That moment
Time and time
hits
again,
so
Master
hard.
Chief has woken up to fight a new enemy. Halo Infinite largely sees that pulled back by instead focusing on familiar fodder with
God,
the
look
banished
at
from
them.
Halo Wars 2.
Look at the
They
brutes!
eagerly step up as Chief's main adversaries after handily defeating the UNSC around Zeta Halo, including Master Chief.
Wait, what's going on? What's going on with his mouth though? His mouth is like moving at like 10 FPS. You guys see that?
Around Zeta Halo, including Master Chief. Their goal for Zeta Halo is unknown, but if it involves a Halo ring, there's nothing good that can come of it. After the UNSC's loss, Master Chief's main objective becomes freeing the captured Allied forces on Zeta Halo and thwarting whatever the Banished are planning.
I am Escharum, War Chief of the Banished. This is my world now.
Cortana was presented as a mystery
so
rather
sick.
than as a primary antagonist in what I played. What happened to her after Halo 5 and whether or not she's been truly destroyed is unknown. This crucial conflict seemingly takes a backseat to the larger fight with the Banished, though it is intertwined somehow. Without getting into spoilers, I will say the few moments that dug into Chief and Cortana's relationship were an emotional gut punch. Halo Infinite is looking to deliver a meaningful story for legacy Halo fans, and I really needed to fulfill that promise after Halo 5 story missteps. Deliver a meaningful story for legacy Halo fans, and I really needed to fulfill that promise after Halo 5 story missteps.
Oh.
She's not the driver, but a way to level the playing field.
What do I call her?
Ask her. She named herself. Hello, Master Chief. I'm Cortana.
This all being said, I'm not optimistic that Halo Infinite is going to be a great
This game is going to emotionally destroy me. I just know it.
This all being said, I'm not optimistic that Halo Infinite is going to be a great starting point for new people to the franchise, as the best moments I saw in the first few hours rely on prior knowledge of the series. I don't like the idea of people being left behind, but I selfishly prefer that this game is made for returning Halo fans rather than tuning the story to accommodate new players. Familiar with the story or not though, Halo Infinite sure is fun to play and explore.
That is true. The way the game is like set up right now, it's very much. I don't know how they're going to like elegantly make it a seamless entry for new players. You know, you're literally starting out like after a major conflict, after this whole all this crazy shit from Halo 5 occurred. Like it's a hell of a place to start as a new Halo fan to the franchise.
Familiar with the story or not though, Halo Infinite sure is fun to play and explore.
I think I'm with you. I didn't even know what a Banished was an hour ago, and even I can see the odds aren't great.
So much love in my heart for the weapon. A lot of love. How Halo Infinite's open world works. Yes, please. I want to know.
Playing Halo Infinite is a mix of familiar and new. One moment you're navigating encounters and ship corridors, then the next you're driving several Marines around the open fields of Zeta Halo. As 343 has clearly stated, Halo Infinite isn't quite a true open world game despite it featuring massive sandboxes. Zeta Halo is broken up into island chunks. Land masses can be connected by bridges, and Chief can eventually call in things like a wasp to fly around anywhere after they're unlocked. So eventually we may get to freely explore unlocked areas, but our range will be limited and more focused at first.
Right. See, that's exactly how I kind of thought that Halo Infinite was going to be when they did finally announce that it's going to be sort of an open world. It's like, I'm telling you, the second I saw the hexagonal pillars, you could easily tell exactly why they were there and what they were for. It's definitely more of like a Destiny style open world in terms of the play space, not in terms of the mechanics, but in terms of the play space. It's like you have chunks of a world that are connected via choke points, and you're kind of limited to those based on, you know, how the missions are going to unfold, which I think works and is honestly probably a good thing for Halo Infinite, because I don't know if you guys can imagine a typical Halo campaign taking place in a space where you could go wherever you want, like Breath of the Wild style, right? So that makes sense. I think that's the only way they were actually going to be able to have a campaign that really felt like Halo in an open space. So it sounds like they're kind of striking a perfect balance here, sort of segmented open world plateaus and locations connected once you unlock them, and you can roam freely between them for different side missions and stuff like that. So that makes perfect sense. It's looking good. Hell yeah.
Zeta Halo is littered with UNSC camps called Forward Operating Bases that were claimed by the Banished after the UNSC lost the big fight. Clearing a base and reclaiming it replaces the Banished with Marines. Even better, cleared bases convert to instant fast travel points and earn you Valor. Worry not. Valor isn't some sort of spendable currency. It's instead a point-based tracker of how much ground the UNSC has on Zeta Halo. The more Valor you have, the better backup and gear you can call in. As far as I could tell, earning Valor and reclaiming
so it looks like
broken...
So that's how they're going to handle like upgrades and stuff as far as the sandboxing campaign. Like the more Valor you have, you can call in a Razorback, it looks like. I'm assuming these are like different squads of Marines, maybe with different weapons that they can use to support you. Like picture calling in a Razorback and like 3 Marines to all just like hop on and just go fuck shit up. That's awesome.
The more Valor you have, the better backup and gear you can call in. As far as I could tell, earning Valor and reclaiming the Broken Ring is entirely optional. So what else can you do when you're not hunting down the next clue to the Banished plan? People don't just get to give the Master Chief a fetch quest. The only one who really gives Master Chief any sort of command is a new AI codenamed the Weapon. She's meant to destroy Cortana and is in turn supposed to be destroyed when her operation is complete. Though Cortana is seemingly gone, the weapon remains and is happy to assist Master Chief until she reaches her eventual demise. Much like Cortana, the weapon will call out enemy attacks, notable objectives, banish facilities that need destroying, and Marines in need of rescuing. I was more likely to come across a random patrol of enemies than an actual objective, but I didn't feel like I had to go too far to find something fun to do. I enjoyed the quiet moments though. Following Zeta Halo's native space groundhogs or just enjoying the view was a pleasant reprieve
Space
from the
groundhogs,
action.
dude, there they are.
When I was ready to get back to it though, I could also hunt down and eliminate special targets to collect a unique version of their signature weapon that's equipable at FOBs, of collectibles. A new scanner tool does make them a bit easier to find, if you have an idea of where to look. The scanner's range is rather limited though, so it's not a free pass to find
Whoa, wait,
secrets.
what did she say?
I'd be
Unique version of their signature weapon that you can collect. Something makes me think we're gonna get some really freaking cool weapon variants. Video on that coming soon, by the way.
limited though, so it's not a free pass to finding secrets. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Grunt and Marine dialogue. They're hilarious.
Her voice
The grunts
and
are
this
as
music
silly
is just
and
so
oddly
wholesome, I love
aggressive
it.
as ever, and have a surprising number of lines.
Humans would never fight grunts like us. He's here!
While the Marines are far
Good
more
old
confident
grunts, dude.
and excited about joining the Chief in battle. Their commentary made exploring all the more enjoyable.
Just in the nick of time, Chief.
Tools of the trade. What do we get to use?
Just because Zeta Halo is a larger, more open sandbox doesn't mean 343 suddenly has us doing puzzles or tasks unbecoming of a genetically augmented super soldier like Master Chief. Fighting enemies and destroying their stuff is always at the center of Halo Infinite's gameplay, and whether I was taking on a roaming pack of Banished or infiltrating a fortress for a story mission, the more open nature only served to give me more options for combat. If you've had a chance to check out either of the multiplayer test flights, Halo Infinite's excellence in weaponry should come as no surprise. The campaign introduced me to other interesting weapons we've yet to see in multiplayer, like the Disruptor, a small shock
But that's where you're wrong, because it was in the technical preview as a bug, Crank.
pistol that doesn't do too much immediate damage, but deals out pain over time. The equipment we've seen in multiplayer unsurprisingly takes on a more powerful form in the campaign. Each of the 5 equipment
Okay, this is what I'm really interested in, like the upgrade path for all the equipment in campaign.
unsurprisingly takes on a more powerful form in the campaign. Each of the 5 equipment options, grapple shot, shield core, threat sensor, drop wall, and thruster, can be upgraded with a collectible called Spartan Cores. Like most of the open world
Spartan
elements,
Cores.
finding the Spartan
Interesting.
Cores and upgrading equipment is optional. Master Chief won't start the adventure with all equipment either.
That's fucking
You'll
sick.
find new
Okay, so we saw a bit of this in 343's like campaign overview video, but like just hearing her talking about it makes me even more excited for the potential of this. Like, I don't know if you saw there, but the grapple hook can be upgraded so that it stuns people for like several seconds. And I'm only like, my mind is racing, wondering like what all the other abilities are going to be for like the related equipment, like the thruster pack that we saw in the campaign overview that turns you invisible when you thrust with it. That's pretty cool. I'm curious like how far they're going to go with that and how crazy the abilities are going to get. I'm very interested to see that.
Master Chief won't start the adventure with all equipment either. You'll find new tools to play with at specific story beats. Lacking a piece of equipment doesn't necessarily mean you're blocked off from certain areas from what I saw, but getting to or taking on difficult encounters might be more manageable should you have more equipment.
That's cool to hear that it's all very like optional.
Most of the big story beats happen in large, foreboding structures that could be viewed as something akin to dungeons. These
Interesting.
offer a more classic Halo experience. Grunts, jackals, brutes,
Whoa,
and
look
elites
at that
made up
Forerunner
of
interior with all the
elements
floating
like
blocks.
Their role, weapon, and armor
Holy.
variety didn't feel lacking in combat. I came across one set of brutes that were so geared up they nearly qualified as a mini boss fight. The hunters make a return too, and are fun to fight as always. This being another ring, the Flood was alluded to, though I never saw them. The Prometheans weren't.
The flood was a what, man? The flood was alluded to? Okay. I've been getting asked a lot on my stream recently, like if I think the flood is going to be in Halo Infinite, and my answer is pretty much always yeah. If you have a Halo game that takes place on a ring, more than likely the Flood are going to be there. Whether or not they're like a major part of the story, I somehow doubt that, but I could totally see Flood being in like containment chambers, being alluded to being like a future threat that they have to deal with after the campaign. Maybe in some like story DLC further down the line, or story update rather.
Fight as always. This being another ring, the Flood was alluded to.
I love how like interactive the enemies are to when you shoot them.
Nearly qualified.
Like, look at how he staggers with like the Mauler round, like hitting him.
Mini boss fight.
Like each time he like reacts in some meaningful way once he gets started towards you, like he'll stumble. We saw that before, but I love seeing how that works. I feel like it's gonna make like fighting enemies a lot more immersive than maybe it has been in the past. We'll have to see, but I like that a lot.
Too, though I never saw them. The Prometheans weren't present either. 343's vision of recapturing the
Prometheans aren't present. That's interesting. That's something I legitimately haven't even thought about. Like, people give the Prometheans a lot of shit, but they ultimately are really cool, and they're kind of a big part of the Halo universe now. What is 343, or what are they going to do with Prometheans in the future? Is it going to be just something that they scrap, or are we going to see an updated version of them coming with Halo Infinite maybe in the future? Because what's interesting, like, if you take a look at all of the Forerunner weapons in Halo Infinite so far, like the Cinder Shot, which was leaked, the Sentinel Beam, Heat Wave, they all have a wildly different aesthetic from the Forerunner weapons that we got in Halo 4 and 5. So that makes me wonder as well, like, if we do see Prometheans again in Halo Infinite, what are they going to look like? You know, that's what I literally never thought about that, dude. That's okay. I doubt we're going to see any sort of Prometheans anytime soon, but like when we do, it's going to be really cool. I can't wait to see how they redesign them.
The Prometheans weren't present either. 343's vision of recapturing the essence of combat evolved in Halo Infinite means there's not really room for them, and honestly, I had plenty of fun without them. I didn't see any drones either, so I'm hoping the new flying enemies equipped with hardlight weapons, the Skimmers, will be their replacement.
Oh, that's right. Skimmers are essentially drones. They're just flying. Yeah, okay.
The first one with a brute lieutenant named Tremonius absolutely kicked my ass at first on heroic difficulty. A moment without movement rewarded Tremonius as he entered the encounter guns blazing and took me out twice in a row. I had been handling heroic without any issues up until that point, so I was stunned to see how Tremonius' aggression and support from 2 Jackals paid off. I quickly got to work on a strategy and happily took on the challenge.
Whoa, that's a sick, like, Forerunner fusion coil there. So something I will say about the boss fight so far, I get mad Cabal vibes, like, from Destiny. I get mad Cabal vibes from the Banished so far. And this boss fight with Tremonius, it really just looks like you're fighting a random Cabal enemy with an overshield. I'm totally open to my mind being changed about that. I'm sure it's going to feel different in gameplay, but I haven't seen anything in this boss fight that looks particularly unique, that makes him interesting to fight. He just kind of like farts around and dodges side to side. Not too much there that I'm seeing that actually makes this look like an interesting encounter, to be honest, but I'm hoping I can be proven wrong. Something I really hope they do in Halo Infinite is really... I hate to, bring up Destiny again, but I really hope they take some inspiration from Destiny, maybe some other games with their boss fights and like the interesting mechanics that they actually have. Like, I think something that they could really lean into is the various mechanics that Destiny had in strike bosses. One that comes to mind is the one in the Taken King with that Cabal that like jetpacks in the air and then dives at the ground at you to like dive at you, and there's like 2 of them that come out. I'm really hoping, obviously this seems like maybe it's going to be like the first boss. It's just kind of getting you into the game. It's not going to be that mechanically heavy. I hope the hand of Atriox, the various enemies we're going to be fighting in this campaign are going to be interesting to fight. And it's not just regular enemies with stronger shields. I'm praying that that's the case, or that's not the case rather. I'm hoping they're more interesting. So, in all likelihood, this is, just an intro boss to get you familiar with, more of the mechanics and familiar with the idea of a boss fight. And they're going to get progressively more mechanically interesting from here. But just from what we've seen so far, it's not looking incredibly... I don't know. It's not gripping me in terms of the gameplay aspect of the boss fights so far. But we will have to see. Let's move on.
I have thus far only explored a fraction of Halo Infinite. Though the map isn't as large as something you'd find in an Assassin's Creed. Far from it, I'd say. What it does hold seems to offer something more curated with excellent combat at its heart. The story part is what I'm most curious about now. 343 needs to stick the landing in the plot department, especially with regard to giving us a satisfying resolution to the Chief and Cortana's relationship.
They updated
If they
that.
can finally deliver,
They updated the shot of that mom and her kid from the first Discover Hope trailer. Interesting.
3 needs to stick the landing in the plot department, especially with regard to giving us a satisfying resolution to the Chief and Cortana's relationship. If they can finally deliver that well-rounded classic Halo experience, then they'll have successfully and definitively made Halo their own. For more on Halo Infinite, check out our exclusive reveal of the new Streets multiplayer map, and stay tuned all November long for more IGN First coverage on Master Chief's latest adventure.
That last line, man, if they can deliver on that definitive Halo experience, they'll have succeeded in making Halo their own. That's honestly true. We've been waiting for 343 to really just cut the crap, make the best damn Halo game that they can make, and this is looking like that. Oh my god! I'm so fucking excited for this game, I can't even tell you. So I kind of gave my thoughts on a lot of that as we were watching it, but overall, this looks pretty in line with my expectations as far as the campaign. I'm not someone who has had insanely high expectations for the campaign so far, but what this looks like is exactly what I was hoping for. I was hoping for a solid, well-structured, open world experience that still nails that Halo feel for the missions, and it looks like they've structured it in a way that's going to succeed in that regard. And the thing is too, this is the first 4 hours of the Halo Infinite campaign that IGN played. Of course, I'm sure the campaign is way longer. We'll probably go to different environments, and the thing that's so cool is that there's a lot of opportunity to expand this campaign mechanically. There's a lot you can do in these spaces, it looks like, and it looks like there's a lot that we're gonna have the chance to discover. So my main takeaways from this campaign video preview from IGN is the foundation and the early bits of the campaign look great, and I'm hoping to see more depth with the engagements, more interesting encounters with enemies, because everything looks very small in scale. And so I'm assuming that's because they're holding back spoilers and amazing moments like that, right? I'm hoping they take full advantage of this new campaign format that they've created here and really deliver on some incredible grand moments, as well as the kind of small ones they've showed us so far. So holy hell, this game is looking so good. We have less than a month until Halo Infinite. There's a lot of info here. There's also a whole Game Informer piece on Halo Infinite with a ton of info that just dropped as well. But that's going to do me for now. As for this, Halo Infinite campaign preview, I just wanted to watch, get my thoughts on what we saw, and yeah, react to it for you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. This was a lot of fun, and if you're new to the channel, like I said, subscribe, because I'm going to be doing a ton of Halo Infinite content during this month of crazy marketing leading up to launch, and also post-launch. You won't want to miss what I'm going to be making here. So subscribe if you're new. Help me along the road to 100K subscribers. And yeah, thank you very much for watching as always, everybody, and I'll see you in the next Halo Infinite video. I'll see ya!